Hi guys, and welcome back. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to cut down an oak cottage door to fit into a non-standard height opening. That was a mouthful to say. Enjoy. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is cut our door to its final height. So in my case this is going to be 1710 millimeters. So we're going to mark that out and then cut that off, and that's our definitive height of our door. Now I've just put a brand new blade in the saw so we minimise breakout as much as possible. Okay, so now we're left with this section here. Obviously we've put the full bit of door over to one side. What we want to do is prepare this bottom rail to be fitted back in the door. So what we need to do is cut this bottom rail out. So we need to cut along this line here, leaving the full width of the bottom rail. That's important so we don't have kerf lines. And then we need to cut this to the right height. So we don't want to cut it here, we want to cut it at this point here. So then we've got that shadow gap for when we reattach it back to the door. So we'll start by doing that cut first, and then we'll cut the other bits off. So just taking our time to line our track up nicely. I could really do with a new splinter guard on this, but it'll do for today. Okay. Now we've done that, we'll just break these few little bits off here. Just got a little simple sanding block here, just to clean that up. Same on the other sides. That's good. We know we're cutting square because the feather edge is the same size. Okay, so you can see what we've created there. So we've got our shadow gap in there. Now we want to cut our door to the full width, so we want to make sure that our saw blade is on the style of the door and not the rail of the door. So we want to cut bang on there. Okay, so as you can see with these doors, they're not quite made very accurately. So we're completely through on the strip there, but on that side we're not. So we're going to have to adjust that. I've had to actually leave a little bit of the style on to get a nice square cut to get our full width. Okay, so now we've got our door back on our bench. What we want to do is just double check, take some measurements. So from this style here to this style, I have got 523 millimeters. On my rail, I've got 524, so that's good because it's given me a little bit so I can trim this in to suit. You don't want to make this too small because you're done then. But what we do want to do at this stage is now we actually want to identify where we need to put our cut to cut this section out. So what I'm going to do is measure the overall of my rail, which is 191 millimeters, and then we can mark that out and pop that section in there. So we'll come up 191 millimeters, 191 millimeters, and then we'll start by putting our cut through here first, and then we'll cut down here and down here. Okay, so now we've got that cut in, we want to cut up our stiles, and then that's going to remove this section, allowing for our bottom rail to go in. Now what we want to do is make sure our cut's nice and tight along these stiles, then that way we're not going to get any kerf to worry about, because all the kerf's going to be on waste sides of stuff. So nice and tight along here, take your time, and then cut that section out there. Okay, so we've done our cuts, but obviously this section isn't going to come loose because we've got the saw kerf bits in there. So I'm just going to take my little Japanese pull saw and gently cut them out, and then we can clean that up afterwards. Okay, so now we've got that all cut out nicely, what we want to do is turn our attention back to the rail. So if you remember, I said this was 524mm, that gap was 523mm, so we just need to make this fit the right size. So it's just, we're going to sneak up on our cut because we don't want to make it too short, because otherwise we're going to have horrible gaps along this rail. So we're just going to sneak up and cut that in, making sure that everything is nice and square and true. Okay, so now we're happy that our rail fits back in the opening we've created for it. We actually need a way of fixing these two together. Now we can't just rely on glue alone because it won't last. Unfortunately, I can't get a domino in here. Well, I could put dominoes in here, but we can't in here because we won't be able to get it back together. So what we're going to do is biscuit it together, but we can't just use a biscuit jointer for that. So we're going to use a biscuit router cutter in our router to do this. This router's a little bit small for this, but it's the only one that I've got with me today. You really want something with a bigger base than this, but this will do the job for today. And what we're going to do is we're going to slot groove right the way round so we can put some biscuits in, and the same on here, and then we can slide the rail in from the bottom with the glue on it. Okay, so now we can actually start putting it all back together again. Now you can see I've got quite a few biscuits here, nearly said dominoes then. Quite a few biscuits here because I really want this to be a good strong fix, and we all know biscuits aren't the strongest in the world, but they're practical, they're good for this. We're going to use a good quality PVA for this. We don't want to use like a PU glue or that because we don't want it all to start foaming out, because this is a pre-finished door, even the non-pre-finished door, because it will stain the wood and you'll see that glue line. So we're going to be using this stuff here. Okay, so we're all glued up and clamped up. I forgot to bring my sash clamps in like a donut, didn't I? But you know, ratchet strap does a perfectly good job. So we'll let that glue all set up while I have a cup of tea and a quick sandwich, and then I'll jump back in with you guys. There we go, guys, we're out of the clamps now. Now you can see in here, you can still see end grain and that, but because that's the bottom of the door, no one's ever going to see that, no one's ever going to look up. We have got a slight little gap along here that I'm just going to get a little bit of oak wax and put in there just to close that up. But overall, I think it looks really good. So I'm going to do that, I'm going to get this door hung, and then I'll check back in with you guys and show you it in situ. And there we have it, guys, a completely cut down door. Fits in the opening lovely, like you'd never even know that it was done. I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thanks for watching. Leave me a comment below if you like this. Hit that like button because it really helps me get these videos out. But I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.